This again because I forgot a cost. We're going to talk about the cost of the midnight potions. Now, these are going to be two costs that I'm going to show you because one is for the people with magical plots, one cost if you don't have magical plots. So let's go ahead and get into my spreadsheet here, and you guys can tell me if any of my math looks wrong when we're done with this. I'm going to move myself a bit out of the way here, guys. Let me just move myself over. Actually, I'll put myself up here on this video because this is less important than the other information. Okay, so the Aura Labs they're going to use wood, stone, iron, and grain to operate. I forgot here that just in general, grain is 0.01 per pp. This is what I forgot originally, but I have added it in. Okay, and that is per hour. Let me make 3 a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. Okay. Aura is 0.005 per hour not pre. Gosh, I had some typos in here, didn't I? Per pp, and 40 aura equals 1 midnight potion. So when we look at the example of a 5,500 pp plot, this is kind of just about the average I think a small person might have on a plot. You can make 2.75 aura per hour. You can do about 1.65 potions per day because you'll use 66 aura per day. Divide that by the 40, that gets you there. Just to get you a small idea on how much stuff you need here. You need 55 grain per hour for this production. You need 27.5 wood, 11 stone, and 2.75 iron. That is per hour. So daily, you need a little bit over 1,000 grain. It's about 660 wood, 264 stone, and 66 iron. This is what you would need for your standard PP of 5,000. If you are on a magical plot and you still only have 5,000 PP, that would be kind of odd because your production would be getting doubled. You'd probably have 10,000, but in that case, the cost would stay the same. Because bonuses are not added into the cost for claims, right? So if you're on a magical cost plot, you can cut all these costs in half from what I understand. If I'm wrong about that, let me know and go with the full price I'm going to show you on this potion. Okay, we do another example here for a max plot. Now per hour you're needing 1,000 grain, 500 wood, 200 stone, 50 iron. You're needing 24k grain, 12k wood, 48k stone, and 1.2k iron per day to make those potions. Now the nice thing is on a exact 100,000 pp plot, you would make 30 potions per day. It just ends up 50 aura per hour. 1,200 aura in a day is exactly 30 potions. So we can use that as a good barometer to figure out how much potions would cost. We'd use this much resources. I went and checked on the market the DEC value for 1 day here. So to do the claim, you need 267 DEC worth of grain, 446 DEC worth of wood, 619 worth of stone, and 474 worth of iron. So that's going to be a little under 2,000 DEC today. I'm going to show you how that might not be the truth when we really start making these potions in a second. So we get a midnight potion. One midnight potion cost that 1,800 DEC divided by 30 gives us about 60. So we're at about 60 DEC to make one potion when it comes to the research cost. Now, if you're on magical plots, if you have totems, if you have all those other cool things that bump up your production, where your costs per hour are smaller, and I'll show you that in just a second when I go into my land, then you can knock this possibly down to about 3 cents, maybe a little bit under 3 cents on the production of the potion. So what would you sell your potions for? Somebody who doesn't have magical plots, doesn't have totems, doesn't have titles, well, they're paying 6 cents worth of resources to make those potions. You're only paying 3 cents. So you would feel that these potions are going to sell somewhere between 5 cents if everybody's making them on magicals, and 7 to 8 cents if everybody's making them on regulars and taking that as the base case. It's going to be really hard to see because we don't know how many people who have a lot of packs have a lot of land. I'm going to be able to make my potions. Good for me. This no cost to me really, except for maybe a little bit of cost because my land runs a little bit under. Like I have to buy a little bit of grain every once in a while, because if I don't, then I get stuck, and I have to do some swapping of stone for wood and iron. But I think that's normal for most people, right? You produce the one research that you can do the most of, and then you get everything else. Okay, so that is our cost. I did my little example here. I have 600,000 pp on research. Some of this is bonus pp, so it's not super accurate, but I can move over around. For me to get my 2,000 potions I need for the packs I bought, because I only bought 400 packs in total, 160 legendary, 240 standard. That's as of today. Can't promise you I'm not going to buy any more during this pre-sale. I actually kind of want to, but I have to find some funds. So we have from April 29th to the 13th, we have 15 days. Right now I have to average about 133 a day. If this 100,000 PP plot can make 30 per day, right, in cards, then you can get about, I need to put about 444,000 PP onto this. Now, because I'm looking at how much I have on research, all my research plots are getting double PP for research. They're going to get double PP for aura as well because they're all magical plots. But that does mean I have to move around 450,000, all right? Yeah, to be safe, to make sure that I get my 2,000 potions. That's just my own potions. This does mean that if I want to make any extra potions to sell to you guys, and I'm only going to be able to make a little bit extra to sell to you guys, if I moved all my 600 on there, and I was making 30 per 600, then I'd only be making 380 potions per day. I need 133 of those. I'd have 50 potions to sell you per day. That's enough for 10 card pack openings. That's it. That's from me. That's from a guy who is currently running. If we go and look at my land, so we'll go to play, we'll go to land, we'll go to production. I am currently running 134 lands out of my 196. I have these two I'm trying to sell, but no one's buying them because I'm trying to I'm trying to sell them for a lot. I thought it'd be kind of cool to have lands in other areas. It's not because of the way things work, so I just have those. Now, let's go and show you some examples really quick. So we're going to look at a research plot. So here we go. We have a research plot. It's making 1.6 research per hour. You can see that it has a total production of 1,600, but a boost of 110. So when you look at the grain cost for this location is only 70 per hour. Well, that math doesn't work right. Right? That's not mathing right. It's not mathing right for anything, right? If you do 16,170, oops, I messed that up. 16,170. Okay, 16,170 times 0.01. It equals that. But since I'm getting a 110 bonus percent on my PP, let's see if I can. Let's see, 16170. That means that since I'm going up by 110%, I am only actually at about 45% of this. So see, there's my 7,200. I said about 45. It's not quite the way it would work. I think it would actually be 40. Would it be 40 to get to exactly 70? Let me check. 6,170 times 0.4. No, it's like 42, 43. But whatever it is, it gets me down to a base of about 7,000. That's where this 70 per hour grain cost. So see, then you can see that wood cost is at 35 because it's basing off of that 7,000 pp times 0.005. There's your 35 wood. So your costs are going to be based outside of your production bonuses, but your Aura production is going to be based on this number here. So on Aura, I'd be producing about 11 Aura per hour here, or 1 potion every 4 hours. Just an example on this plot. Let's just kind of breaking this down for you. As you can see here, I'm running, some legendary cards and some epics. These are all maxed. This is an expensive plot for me. It does have an artifact, but it doesn't have a title. This is actually probably one of my mid-range ones. All max legendary cards, but from the Chaos Legion. So they're only pumping in, 3,000, 2,000s with the bonus. Well, 3 legendaries, 2 epics. So it's not a super small spot. But let's go ahead and get into one other thing I wanted to do. Hit the wrong button. Let's talk about the cost possibly changing. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for this. Okay. Now, I told you that under the current offers, you're looking at somewhere between 3 and 6 cents because it's 60 DEC worth of resources to make it. But are you really making 30? Are you really making 40? It depends on if you're doing this on magical plots or not with your PP. I am, but my cost would still be around, because for 100,000 PP, my cost is still going to be 6 cents roughly. Is it going to be 6 cents? It's going to be closer to this 3 cents marks because all my things are at like 110%. Most have a totem, and most of my magical plots have a totem. Let's just put it that way. Some of them have titles, so the cost is going to be even a little bit less on those ones. I might be inclined to move my Roonies around in the next couple days because then that would get me another big bonus. But I'll make that decision in the next few days. So we'll see what I'll do. But when we go to the Trade Hub, I want to show you something. Now, if we bring up our calculator, let's even go on the cheap side. We're going to give an example of one person with 1,000 packs. They have 500 cards. They need 5,000 midnight potions, and they're going to buy them from people. We're going to take the 3 cent cost. That's $150. I'm going to show you something right now. If you get $1 worth of wood, you get 2,700 so you get 2,728. Well, 218 wood per dollar. But if I want to change that to $150 worth of wood, now mind you, I wouldn't need $150 worth of wood because I have to buy wood, iron, stone. But this is just an example to show you how if just a few people came to get their wood for their potions, right? You could say this would be 3 people coming to get their wood, spending $50 on wood. It doesn't exactly work like that, guys. I'm just doing this as a quick example. All right, so now you get 3,900, 51,509.52. And we divide that by the $150 that you spent. Now you got 2,634. So let me bring this back up. If I only wanted $1, compared to if I wanted $150. You see that slippage? Now, instead of getting 27,000 wood with an extra 200, I'm getting 26 with 300. What is that, about 800 difference right there? 850 wood lost per dollar for one person coming and spending $150. And you're going to see a similar type thing on stone. So let's see. If we wanted to get $150 worth of stone, that would get us 1, 3, 4, 482.361. Divide that by the 150 bucks. We're looking at $1, getting us only 896 stone. But if I just want to get $1 worth of stone, I get 7,000. But if I get $150 worth of stone, hold on, let me just see if I did that right. I want to double check this. 1,134 482. I think I messed it up. Divided by 150. Okay, 7,500. I was like, it can't be that drastic. And then $1. And I know DEC isn't at peg. So it's a loss of about 200 stone on the dollar. If somebody was buying $150 worth of stone, it would increase it that much. The basics, I just want to show you these markets. They're small. $7,000 worth of wood, a little bit more of stone. That's why there's less slippage in the stone, because there's $9,000. And there'll actually be even less slippage in the iron, because there's $11,000. But you can start to see how when you have pools that have liquidities only in the thousands of dollars, orders in the hundreds of dollars move this market. So you're going to start to see the prices of these changing quite a lot. See my big contribution here, guys? Well, $2.95 worth of iron. That's kind of funny. I didn't realize that's all I put in. I put in 58 up here, 11 up here. So we're going to end it there. I'm going to move myself back down to my normal spot. Hopefully this was helpful, guys. I meant to do this as kind of a quick video. It is a Thursday night when I made this video. When I gave you these prices, they were accurate. They might not be accurate even tomorrow. Thanks.